Hello there and welcome to the studio. Today we're going to be talking about tracks. Before you actually start working on your project, it is important that you understand what track is about and the type of track that is good for you to use as far as your project is concerned. So because of that, we're going to start with the very definition of all the tracks. You have the types of the tracks, which is the same across board. Whichever device you're using, track is the same across board. So let's go to here. You click here and hold. You are going to see the list of all the track. The same thing also when you click on new track, it will show up for you the list of all the tracks. So you either do that or you click on new track and it will show you the list of all the tracks. So we're going to go over these one after the other, right? And I'll tell you when it is important for you to pick a certain kind of track. All right, the first one I'm going to talk about, let us just take it in this order anyways, the audio track. This audio track is where you know you want to take a vocal. Let's say you want to take a vocal, maybe someone is singing or vibing. You need to take samples directly from your microphone. You can use the audio track, or if someone were to come to your studio with a guitar, you need to connect it directly to your sound card and then send it in. Those are the time you might want to use your audio track, because it's basically used to take audio and to also play back audio files and record performances. So basically, if you also have samples that are already put on your device, you can actually load it on your audio track for use. Let's say maybe ad-libs or things like that, or effects, all those audio effects, you can actually load them onto an audio track as against loading them into either your drum program. You can also do that, but that will play it, or you'll be able to manipulate that particular pad or that particular sample. But if you put it on audio, you are able to manipulate it, set the time it starts and move it around just as you would in real time. So that's what you use audio track for. Then let's go to the drum track. Drum track is actually what you use to trigger individual samples. So all your melodic and one shot, or your loops, and even the drums in itself, all those ones, they will have already been on your system or your device. Then you assign it to each of these pads. That is the reason why you see it as the feature or the logo that looks a lot like these pads. So you will have assigned those samples or those loops or those drums to your pads, and then from there you can actually trigger them from your pad. That is when you want to use drum pad, and they are very good when you need to just basically do things that have to do with drumming. All right, then the next one here is a plugin. Your plugin track. So we have a lot of plugins that actually comes bundled with your device, and sometimes you can just buy more. So this track is where you select to access or trigger those plugins. So I'm talking about plugins like maybe your Juno, that is on your Jura. We're talking about the OPX4, your Mini D, that is the Moog emulator, Fabric XL, and the rest of them. Those are the ones that you can actually load on your plugin track. So if what you want to do is probably start by playing your keyboard, that is your piano, then you want to load your plugin track first and then select the sound, and then you'll be able to use your keyboard to actually bring out to life. Basically, mostly used for melodies, that is, while drum track is for drum and audio is for anything that has to do with samples or live audio input. Then the next one here is a key group. In the Akai MPC ecosystem, a key group is a powerful program type that allows you to take a single sample and then you can spread it across the musical scale. So while drum program assigns a different sound to every pad, what a key group program does is it turns the MPC into a traditional sampler synthesizer, and then this allows you to play a sound, just a single sound, chromatically across a keyboard or the pads. Now, how does this work? This is done by transposition. Okay, so which means if you put a recording of a single note on, like a single sound on the piano note into a key group, the MPC will automatically speed up or slow down that sample and to create other notes for you when you play them. So if you put it on C, it will create D, E, F, and on like that for you. It's useful for melodic instrument actually. We have something like the bass, piano, pads. So this means for a bass line, I can actually just record a particular note and then the MPC using Keygroup can generate the rest of that particular note for me. These last two are mostly for the OGs. If you are conversant with what MIDI is used for, you know that majority of the devices that came up at a certain time, the sound device, sound equipment, they actually use MIDI connectors. And I think Akai has gracefully still decided to leave that in there for use so that it's still backward compatible with all majority of those devices. So what happens is when you use a MIDI track, it is assumed that you are trying to trigger a sound from, external hardware synthesizers that you basically just plug to your MPC using that MIDI device, or the MIDI cable rather. So you have to plug in the MIDI cable to your device directly, or you plug it, if you have your device connected to a sound card, you can plug in the MIDI cable to that sound card, and then your system will still see it. And when your device sees it, your device is able to now trigger sounds directly from that MIDI device. Then we have your CV. This CV is actually used, this particular CV track is used to trigger sounds from externally connected hardware synthesizers. When we talk about plugins, they are actually synthesizers, right? But they're already converted into softwares and then put on your system. But when we're talking about CVs, they are still hardware synthesizers. CV gate uses this 1/4 jack cable to transmit data from the device to its own device, and vice versa basically. So you need a CV gate supported device that has that CV gate input or output to be able to use CV gate here. And I think majority of them actually does. Some one, some two. So you can easily connect your CV gate equipment directly to it, and then your system can be used, that is your device now can be used to trigger sounds and to get sound directly from those kind of equipment. So this is all we have to work with as far as the Akai MPC is concerned, and trust me, this is more than enough for you majority of the time when you're trying to do your production. Most of the time, averagely, you find people not going beyond drum and plugins, and then once in a while you add audio. If you need to put some 1 or 2 samples, vocals directly on it, then audio goes in. And then most of the time you add Keygroup when you need to just pick a sample and convert it into a Keygroup that you can play across. And rarely do people use MIDI and CV gate lately, but trust me, the OGs that still have some MIDI devices, they still try and prefer to transmit from and or use this MIDI. A good example for me, actually, I still have a sampler in the studio that connects to this device using a MIDI, which means I trigger majority of my key plays using the MIDI. So yes, there you have it, the list of all the tracks that is available for you to use, and you can choose to start with whichever one works for you. You will notice that if your device happens to be the those type that have keyboard, which is the MPC, the key 37 or the key 61, when you load up your project, the default track that comes up will be the plugin. If you happen to be using the types such as MPC X, MPC XL, the MPC 1 Plus, or the MPC Live, you see that anytime you launch your new project, it will default to drum. So that'll be all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comment section. We'll see you in the next one. Stick around.